what a difference a week makes. The road trip the Phillies were trying to stay away from ended up being a head-on collision they needed to avoid. As we prepare to turn the calendar to the final 2 months of the season, the Phillies return home, where their last stop was a good one, and they walked off with high expectations. Boy, the landscape in front of Charlie Manuel sure has changed since the last time he was sitting in the Citizens Bank Park dugout. Tonight, the Phillies begin a long homestand as they take on the San Francisco Giants, another struggling team at 12 games under 500. The Phillies' losing streak, 8 games, of course. They won the first game after the All-Star break, but after that, look at what they did offensively. They hit only .202. They only had a couple of home runs and 13 extra base hits. Now, a move today as the Phillies continue to look toward the future. Steve Sustorf was designated for assignment after getting his first major league hit in Detroit, and Cody Asche has had his contract selected from Lehigh Valley, and he'll wear number 25, and he's already here at the ballpark, where earlier today he caught up with Michael Young. He's lockering next to Chase Utley, and he also took his first round of batting practice here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Chris Wheeler. No doubt the Phillies are getting, like everybody else in Major League Baseball, closer to tomorrow's trade deadline. Well, today they made their first move, and that was bringing Cody Asche up from AAA.
Yeah, he's a young guy they know a lot about because they had him in spring training. Tom, he played quite a bit in spring training, played quite a bit at third base for the Phillies, and he did a good job down there. This is a guy who's progressed throughout his minor league career, charged the ball pretty well on some slow hoppers that we saw, made a couple plays in the hole. There he starts a double play in an exhibition game in Clearwater, and he's one of those guys that they have a lot of hope for, that he's going to be a good major league player someday. This is what he was doing at AAA. He really swung the bat well with Lehigh Valley. In fact, last night he hit 2 home runs. He had a 10-game hitting streak when they called him up today. His numbers very, very good with the Iron Pigs, and you see what he was able to do with a .295 average. He does have a lot of extra base hits. He scores some runs. He's a very aggressive player from what we were able to see in spring training. And Chase Utley and he spent a lot of time together in spring training, so it's not surprising that they're near each other. Utley really took to him. He really likes him a lot.
All right, well, he is not in the starting lineup for tonight's ball game against the San Francisco Giants, but Charlie Manuel said look for him to be over at third base tomorrow in Game 2 of this series. But tonight it is game number 1. Barry Zito, he's struggling. John Lannon, at times he has also struggled this year. It's the first of this 3-game series coming up from Philadelphia. We'll be back with the lineups at first pitch after this. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the short side of a good time. Here we go. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Honoring America, Uncle Junior in the Sopranos.
The Tangan Heritage celebration here at Citizens Bank Park. And Uncle Junior from the Sopranos did a beautiful job singing tonight's national anthem. As he told us before the ball game, it's important to tell a story when you're singing a song, and he certainly did that before tonight's game. The Phillies have taken the field. Let's take a look at the Giants starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Andres Torres. Marco Scutaro bats second. Pablo Sandoval hits third, followed by Hunter Pence and Jeff Francoeur. Brett Pill, the first baseman, hits sixth. Guillermo Quiroz, the catcher, will bat seventh. Brandon Crawford hits eighth, and batting ninth and pitching is left-hander Barry Zito. And they'll face Philly lefty John Lannon, 2-4 in the year, a 4.13 earned run average.
Lannon, when he's good, is really good. And when he is off, he's not so hot. And that's kind of been his year so far for the Phillies. Interrupted by that knee injury for a couple of months. Last time out against St. Louis, he was okay in that game. When they took him out for a pinch hitter, that's when they broke the game open. So not on John Lannon. A sinker ball pitcher, a lot of ground balls as you look at the Budweiser scouting report. Career against the San Francisco Giants, 0-1. Last time he pitched against them a couple years ago, had a no decision in an extra inning game out in San Francisco.
Andres Torres will lead it off, a switch hitter batting right-handed, and we're underway. Torres overall hitting .254 with 2 home runs and 20 runs batted in, making his 58th start of the year, and he pulls that one right past Michael Young down the left field line. Torres on his way to second, and he'll get there easily. It's a leadoff double here in the top of the first. Now, this is a Giants team that certainly has struggled. They were 3-7 on the most recent homestand. They were swept by the Cubs.
And they're in a long stretch of sellouts at home too, and got swept by the Cubs over the weekend. Look at their road record in June and July, what they've done, and they commit a lot of errors. Talking to people around the Giants before the game, say what are their biggest problems? That our pitching and defense are not anywhere near what they were at one time when they were winning World Series.
Yeah, they're also 12th for their last 65 with runners in scoring position. Here's Marco Scutaro, who has not taken a turn for the worse for the Giants. He's hitting .313, which is 8th best in the National League.
He's trying to give himself up there, maybe bunt the runner over. His job right now is to get him over any way he can, and they will not give him a sign because they know as a veteran player he knows what he has to do here.
Check swing, foul ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Scutaro, 41 runs scored. He has 21 extra base hits so far this year. He was acquired by the Giants midway through last season. And in the second half of the year, he and Buster Posey were 1-2 in the National League in hits. And he bunts to the right side, and Lannon's able to get to it. Runner goes over to third. There's 1 man down.
Well, it is time now for our Nissan Keys to tonight's ballgame. Couldn't ask for a much better night here at Citizens Bank Park. Well, Barry Zito on the road is 0-6, and that's his earned run average. And the Phillies hope to contribute to those, or make those woes continue here tonight. And something has to give because you're dealing with 2 teams that are on losing streaks.
Yeah, the Giants have lost 4 straight. The Phillies have lost 8 straight. Pablo Sandoval is due up for San Francisco. Sandoval, .270 hitter with 9 home runs and 49 runs batted in. Phillies will play the infield back. They'll concede the run for the out here in the first. Even though they've struggled offensively, they figure they are going to get some runs against a struggling Barry Zito.
Yeah, you don't want to play the infield in the first inning, especially at home. And so they'll give up a run here. Sandoval, such a wild swinger, you never know what's going to happen with him.
1 ball, no strikes. In the air to left field. Darren Ruff in the sunshine. He's under it. Tagging from third is Torres. Ruff's throw to the plate is coming on. One hop, and it gets right on past Carlos Ruiz, and Torres is safe. It'll be a sacrifice fly, and the Giants lead it 1-0.
It was a strong throw by Darren Ruff, but it was a short hop and right into the runner. Everything that a catcher doesn't want happened right there. I know we'll be able to see it on the replay, but here he is. He's shallow. He makes a strong throw. It's accurate, but watch the hop right there. It's a short hop, and it goes right, and the runner's there at the same time that Ruiz gets that little short hop. That's almost impossible to catch and tag at the same time. And you saw that's what he was trying to do. You make that play, you go, wow. Well, good throw. If it had been a little longer hop, they'd have had him.
Well, now Hunter Pence, Sandoval's credited with an RBI, his 50th of the year. Nice round of applause for Hunter Pence returning to Philadelphia, where he played for about a year. He's hitting .277 overall with 14 home runs and 51 runs batted in. Yeah, that pitch is inside, 2-0.
Got the World Series ring last year with the Giants. They won it 2 out of 3 years. They went to the White House again yesterday for that reception with the president. Pretty cool going 2 out of 3 years.
First time they went, the reception was inside. Yesterday was on the south lawn. And most of the Giants players said it was nice to feel like a champion again because they have played so poorly. And Pence thought that was ball 4. He did wait, and the call was a little late by Will Little.
I think that's where the Phillies had their reception too, was on the south lawn, and that is an amazing feeling to be out there under those circumstances and understand what they meant.
Bruce Bochy's numbers as the manager of the Giants. He's won 1,500 games overall, combining his totals with the Padres. And Pence hits one to center field. Mayberry's out there. He's under it, and this will be a 12-pitch inning for John Lanning. However, the Giants strike first. They get a run on a sacrifice fly, so Barry Zito will have a run to work with when he begins tonight's game when we come back. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Michael Young bats second. Chase Utley hits third. Darren Ruff is the cleanup hitter tonight. Of course, in left field, Delman Young, the right fielder, bats fifth. Kevin Franzen will hit sixth. He's at first base. John Mayberry seventh. Batting eighth and catching Carlos Ruiz. And, of course, on the mound is John Lanning batting ninth. And they'll face 35-year-old left-hander Barry Zito. When we last saw Zito, the Giants thought he had figured some things out. Well, whatever he figured out, he has forgotten because he is really struggling.
Last win was the 30th of April against Oakland. That's 9 starts ago. You see his numbers are just not very good. Budweiser scouting report, he's throwing a lot more fastballs and cut fastballs and sliders than curveballs. And it used to be a fastball curveball pitcher, but you look at the numbers and he's not doing that. He pitched to a no decision in a 10-inning game the Giants won on the getaway day game at San Francisco against the Phils. They won that one 4-3.
Last outing he lasted just 4 2/3. He'll face Jimmy Rollins to start things off here in the bottom of the first. Rollins a .296 lifetime hitter against Barry Zito.
nothing he throws is going to be coming up there fast either, or hard. Fastball averages around 83.
It's part of the reason why teams are just teeing off on his fastball this year, particularly compared to last season. 2-0 to Rollins.
Well, he always had that real good curveball he used to throw as his secondary pitch, but now more sliders.
Fastball for a strike, and it's 2-1. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Maureen Damaraki from Sea Isle City. Maureen, you could win $800 at the Phillies homer tonight.
It's going to be your night, Maureen. Somebody's going to pop one.
Somebody has to pop one, don't they?
And getting back in this yard now, the wind, it's a nice night. The wind's out of the northwest, and that always means it's going to go left to right. So you're going to get more help to right field tonight than anywhere, right and right center.
Rollins takes strike 2. It's 3-2. And he lines one down the right field line. It's slicing. It is a foul ball. Jimmy could see it was foul the whole way. At least you would assume that. He still has the bat in his hand.
Right.
Rollins was 9 for 33 on the road trip, in which the Phillies won 1 game. They lost 8. At a foul ball, it remains 3-2.
Barry Zito, as Tom mentioned, really struggling. Michael Young waits on deck. Heard his name a few times a day. But Zito, he won some big games for them in postseason last year. Unbelievable in elimination games.
Rollins lifts it in the air to shallow right field. Hunter Pence comes running in. And there's one away. Well, that's what Wheels is talking about. An ERA of over 7 during July. His last win on the road came in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series last season against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Right, and he had another big game against Cincinnati in an elimination game last year when they kept dodging bullets the whole time. Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, been here for a long time, so he did an amazing job for them. And then they went with Detroit and just swept the World Series, so they didn't need the big games from him like that. Although he did pitch the first game against Verlander.
Michael Young, a .277 hitter. He has 88 career at-bats against Barry Zito. That does not include bats in the postseason. Inside and high, 2-0. So an 8-pitch at-bat to Rollins, in which he fell behind 3-1. As Cody Ashe soaks in his first major league game, wearing the number 25 for the Phillies.
That has to be a kick just to be down there. This time last night you were in the minor leagues hitting a couple of home runs, and now here you are in the big leagues.
You go from wearing number 72 in spring training to number 25 in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Charlie Manuel did say that he'll be out of third base. At least that's the plan tomorrow.
Yeah, there were a couple things today. It was a long day for him, and also the left-hander going tonight. He said, I'm going to play him tomorrow night. Let him just sit and watch tonight. Maybe I'll use him later.
Now the 2-2 pitch to Michael Young. Inside and low, 3-2. Wheels mentioned Michael Young's name has popped up around baseball over the last 24 hours. It really has been popping up over the last several weeks, with the trade deadline tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time looming. Michael Young does have a no trade clause in his contract.
Yeah, he's a 5-10, right? With Texas, and that just, I think they made that just carry over when he came over here.
Yeah, and also the part of his contract just allows him, even beyond the years, to pick and choose where he wants to go. He hits that one hard down the right field line. It knocks up some dust. He's around first. He'll hold up there. Hunter Pence has a very strong and usually accurate arm. So a 1-out single here in the bottom of the first.
Zito goes away with a high fastball. It may have been ball 4, but he does a good job getting on top of that. Keeps it fair down to first baseline. As Tom says, there's no chance for you to go to second base on this because Hunter Pence knows this yard, and he goes over there and cuts it off quickly before it gets to the wall. He can't throw.
And now Chase Utley. Utley 0 for his last 12. Solid numbers against Zito in just 20 at bats. Chase 0 for his last 12. He still finished 9 for 31 on the road trip. But that series in Detroit didn't help anybody's offense except for the Tigers. Plus, Charlie took a lot of the veterans out early in the last 2 games because they were getting beat up so badly. Inside 2-0. Zito lifetime is 164 and 139. His earned run average is just a hair under 4. He's a former Cy Young Award winner with the Oakland A's. He's never really attained the same kind of stature with the Giants. He's been in double digits in victories, but he's also been in double digits in losses in the same years.
Yeah, if he did anything to really try to make up for that enormous contract that he got, which wasn't his fault, he just accepted it. It was what he did in postseason last year to help them win a World Series. He really stepped up.
Utley pulls that one right past the umpire and past the diving Scudero into center field. Michael Young's on his way to third. And the Phillies have first and third with 1 out. That ball looked like it was hit harder than it truly was when it left the bat.
Yeah, it was knuckling. It looked like going out. It didn't. He didn't hit it. Hit it off the end of the bat a little bit, Tom. I think it was a breaking ball that he hit. Something slow. It's a curveball, and he hits it off the end of the bat. And look at it. It's sliced actually, which is very different. If that thing had hooked towards Scudero, he may have been able to get it and turn it into a double play, but it actually was slicing away from him. He sure can't do that on purpose.
Well, now Darren Ruff with runners on first and third. The Phillies have a chance to tie this ball game up. First pitch is outside. It's 1-0.
Yeah, just stay right on. Barry Zito's having so many problems here on the road and winning games overall that when a guy like him goes out to pitch in these situations, his team almost expects him to give up runs. So you don't want to let him off the hook.
Curveball outside, 2-0. He's fallen behind all 4 hitters that he's faced tonight. And he's given up a couple of hits. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, the Rockies and the Braves are squaring off. The Rockies have taken a 1-0 lead over Atlanta. Atlanta swept out the Cardinals and then won last night in walk-off fashion. They're a hot team right now.
They have the biggest lead of anybody in any division in Major League Baseball.
And with all that, some people think that they could be the weakest team that's sitting atop a division in baseball.
Yeah, because they think they're vulnerable in a playoff series against good pitching. But the Braves will worry about that later. They want to get there and be a division winner.
3-1 to Darren Ruff. And Ruff pulls it foul. Well, he was right on that pitch. That cutter from Barry Zito at 81 miles an hour.
Yeah, the thing that saved Zito was he got it far enough inside that he couldn't keep it fair, and that's what you try to do with a cut fastball. Zito, you wouldn't think he's going to be a big strikeout guy, and there's already one. I don't know. Let's see if they run here. Be a good time to run, stay out of a ground ball double play. That's what they're thinking. Just, well, we're going to toss over there, but a guy like Utley is not going to leave early.
Yeah, Barry Zito at one time was considered a strikeout guy. He had 200 strikeouts in a year against the A's when he won 17 games, but he's not that kind of pitcher anymore. 3-2 pitch. Utley doesn't go. It's a curveball swung on and missed. And there are 2 outs.
Boy, he had a hanger to hit there.
And he knows it too. You can see by his reaction.
Man. That's the way it's been going with this offense almost all year, but especially lately. Look at this thing. Oh, wow. It probably would have been a called strike too. That's when I see it in his dreams. Like it almost he put that on a tee for me, and I missed it.
2 outs, 2 on. Delman Young is up. Delman's 0 for his last 13. Inside 1-0.
Boy, he threw a lot of pitches. You said behind everybody, and they still haven't gotten anything off him.
Yeah, 28 pitches so far in this first. Delman's numbers with runners in scoring position. Barry Zito, meanwhile, opposition hitting .322 against him with the runners in scoring position. Up high, 3-0. They appeal. No swing. Says Dan Bellino, the first base umpire. Well, those are not splits that a manager is going to embrace right there.
No, those are the splits of a guy that is struggling.
Three balls, 1 strike. And it's 3-2. So Utley will be off on this pitch. Delman's only faced Barry Zito 6 times. He's 2 for 6 against him. This is the 4th full count of the first inning.
Yeah.
And he fights it off to the right side into right field, a base hit. Young will score. Utley to third. The Phillies have tied it up at 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Wheels, you have to have some eyes in this ball game to have some success.
You got to have a little luck, and that's what happened there. And then, as you said, he fought it off. It looked like he got in on him with a fastball, and he just hit it into right field. Now Scudero's had one to his left and one to his right. And look at him. That was ball 4, up and in, and he just, I don't know what you'd call that. And Scudero dove, and it goes under. See his arms come in, fights it off. And Scudero almost dove over that ball, it looked like. So one to his right by Utley, one to his left, and he doesn't come up with either one of them.
And now the former Giant Kevin Franzen. Runners on first and third with 2 outs. And Franzen takes a strike. I think that's the first time tonight that Zito's begun an at-bat with a strike. See, Franzen played for the Giants in the big leagues in parts of 06 through 09. Came up with San Francisco. And a curveball for strike 2.
Franzen hit a home run off Zito in that game in San Francisco this year.
Will Little behind the plate. Second time in 2 weeks the Phillies have seen him behind the plate. Bellino at first, Dreckman at second, and the crew chief is Tim Welke.
And Little had the Saturday afternoon game at Citi Field. Phillies and the Mets.
as it's hit by the pitch to load up the bases.
Zito does pitch inside, and that was the fourth batter that he's hit this year. But where did that ever get away? Look at this. France will turn into him sometimes, and he'll take one. That one he just couldn't get out of the way.
That's the 10th time that Franzen has been hit by a pitch this year.
Fourth hit batter by Zito.
Kind of interesting that Mark Gardner going out to the mound instead of Dave Righetti.
Dave Righetti. Gardner's been in their bullpen a lot of years.
Bullpen action. Moscoso is starting to throw.
Wow.
35 pitch first inning for Barry Zito. Here's Mayberry. Good numbers against Barry Zito. He's 4 for 8 with 3 home runs. And it's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Try to take a big rip at a 70-mile-an-hour curveball.
Yeah, that's where he used to pitch. Fastball in, out, big old hook. And it was very effective for Zito for a number of years, helping get that big deal with the Giants.
Signed that deal during the offseason of 2006. And with the Giants, he has 62 wins and 76 losses. Inside 2-1.
Spent a lot of years pitching in the Bay Area. Playing Mayberry way up the middle with Scudero and off the first base bag with Pill. I do not think he's going to hit one down the right field line. Zito's throwing all this slow stuff. You think you're going to pull him for the most part. Look at that. That's a pull defense in the infield if you ever see one.
That was also a tough pitch that Mayberry just got called a strike against him.
Especially for a guy who's all over the place.
This will be the 40th pitch of the inning. The Phillies have tied it at 1. And he fouls it at the plate. And it remains 2-2.
You make a guy throw 40-some pitches in the first inning, you think you're going to get more than one, and they still have a shot. He just brought that guy up.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Mayberry. Lays off meant to be a cutter. It might go down as a fastball. It had some movement on it. It's 3-2, so the runners will be off. Whatever wiggle room Barry Zito had, he does not have anymore.
They're doing some wiggling in that dugout of theirs, too.
Balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Tough to play defense behind this too, you would think.
Runners go. Pitch is fouled back.
Infielders, their body language is not good. Back on their heels a little bit. You know, the outfielder just kind of looking around. Very tough when a pitcher does this.
Some guys would go get a pitcher just because they're at 42 pitches in the first. But this is a veteran. He's 35 years old.
Right.
His arm doesn't always get taxed with the way he throws, the way a power pitcher would. 3-2 pitch. Curveball outside. It forces in a run. It's 2-0 Phillies.
3-2 hook.
It's a good job by John Mayberry to allow Zito to walk him.
It's a pitch he got rough out on. Was a curveball. It was a lot better than that one. Bochy has a look that a manager gets in the first inning when he's watching this, like, oh no, where am I going tonight? I'm going to have relief pitchers in the game, getting at bats, all that sort of stuff.
Carlos is average at 253 with no homers and 9 runs batted in. Takes a curveball that drops in for a strike. It's 0-1. So much for him throwing his slider more than his curveball.
Yeah. He hasn't thrown many sliders or cutters. He's thrown a few, but mostly fastball, curveball.
Now the 0-1 pitch to Ruiz. Fastball popped up. Left side of the infield, Pablo Sandoval is in fair territory, and the Phillies leave him loaded here in the first. They do get a couple to erase a 1-run deficit. Delman Young tied it up with a single to right field. Well, that half inning took 20 minutes and 30 seconds, and a ton of pitches from Barry Zito. We've played one. On to the second with the Phillies leading it 2-1. Total 5 starts. Don't forget, be in your seats early. The Phillies are going to honor Brad Lidge on Thursday night prior to the ball game. Brad will officially retire as a member of the Phillies. All fans coming to the ballpark that day receive a photo print, compliments of Toyota. Get your tickets not only by stopping by the ballpark, but by going to Phillies.com. Jeff Francoeur will lead it off for the Giants. Francoeur hitting 200 in a Giants uniform. He was designated for assignment by the Kansas City Royals and then was released, and the Giants picked him up, signed him to a minor league deal, and now have brought him up to the big leagues.
Well, he always liked to hit here. He was playing all 3 games, every inning of that Kansas City series when they were here early in the year. First 3 home games for the Phillies, he went 4 for 13 with 2 doubles, and he scored 3 runs.
Yeah, the Giants felt like signing him was kind of like signing Pat Burrell when Burrell was released by the Tampa Bay Rays a couple years ago. That ball's popped up foul territory, first base side. Franzen makes the call. 1 out. Brett Pill's due up. Let's check in with Murph, who's with a special guest. Murph?
Very special indeed. Allow me to welcome in Dominic Chianese. And we welcome you to Philadelphia, Dominic. Best known, of course, for his work as Uncle Junior on The Sopranos, but for so much more. And wow, did we get a taste of some of your other talents today as you sang the Star Spangled Banner?
Thank you so much, Greg. Yeah, I enjoy it so much. I really love doing it. I think I may have done it like at least 25 times now in most of the venues, hockey and basketball, football, baseball. And my intention now is to go to all the baseball stadiums and do this national anthem, and then go back to the Bronx. And when they ask me to play at Yankee Stadium, my dream will come true.
Maybe that'll be ballpark number 30 for you when the New York Yankees welcome you in. Well, if they caught your performance today, I guarantee you they're going to be calling, because it certainly was great. The Philadelphia fans enjoyed it. Now, you're from the Bronx, and you grew up obviously a New York Yankees fan. However, this is not the first time you've been to a baseball game in Philadelphia, although your first time here at this ballpark.
This ballpark. So let's go way back to the 40s at Connie Mack Stadium. My sister's godmother was from South Philly, the DeMuro family, and if anybody's listening from that family, it's good to talk to you again, guys. And her brother was the great middleweight fighter Eddie Giosa. And I remember Eddie, and a lot of nice memories about Philadelphia. And that's why I'm wearing the shirt today with honor and pride.
It's got your name on the back. It's got the number 13 to honor 2013, right? Your time here at the ballpark. You know, I asked you before, as we were just sitting here watching the first inning, if it ever gets tiresome to be introduced as Junior Soprano, and you said not at all.
No, not at all. No, people want to take pictures and they want autographs. They want to just talk to you. I like that idea.
As the Phillies turn to, let me ask you one other question. Folks want to know what you're doing now. I know you're working a little bit on Broadway and doing some nonprofit stuff as well.
I'm doing the Broadway empire, and I run a nonprofit organization called Joy Through Art, and we're sending entertainers into the nursing homes on a steady basis. They go every week, Greg, so they become part of the family, and the old people in the wheelchairs need somebody to come and dispel some of the loneliness. You know, they're being taken care of physically, but it's nice to have somebody come and entertain you every week. They look forward to it.
Well, great work on stage, off the stage, at the ballparks, and behind the scenes as well. Dominic, a real pleasure to have you in Philadelphia. Thanks so much. Tom, let's send it back to you.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. The Phillies retire the Giants very quietly in their half of the second. On to the bottom of the second. We'll be back after this. Smartphone. Be the first to know the latest on all your Phillies teams right from the palm of your hand. Download the free CSN Sports app today. That's a good app to have as we get closer to the trade deadline, which will be at 4 p.m. tomorrow. John Lyman leads it off for the Phillies. They lead it 2-1 as we begin the bottom of the second.
Think how many people will be happy when it's August 1st.
I think all-around baseball players in every clubhouse are going to be happy about it.
It's a neat time of the year for fans and for news and all the kind of stuff like that goes along, but it's also really nerve-wracking for a lot of people involved, and it puts a lot of pressure on a lot of people too. So, you know, it's fun right now, and then when it's over, everybody just kind of settles down.
2 balls, no strikes to Lannon, a .235 hitter, and he takes a strike.
And all it means is that it's the non-waiver trade deadline, because you can still make trades after the 31st, but it just said you have to get waivers on guys, and it becomes much more difficult, or it can become more difficult.
Lannon lifts it to shallow center field. Andres Torres will make the catch, 1 out. During the 2013 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Well, with one away, Jimmy Rollins, who flied to right his first time up, will get up for the second time.
He went up there that time looking for one of those cutters, and he figured he was going to attack and hope he didn't get it in on him. Well, he got it in enough that he can't keep it fair. And that's the idea behind that pitch to right-handed hitters. Get it inside and have them either swing over it or jam them where they hit it weakly to that left side.
Well, we saw Jamie Moyer do it so well for so many years. And when he didn't do it well, teams were able to turn on him and hit it out of the ballpark.
And you mentioned the other day Outlighter, too. You didn't think that was a strike. You mentioned Outlighter, and he was really good at that. Danny Jackson, who was here with the '93 club, very good with that, throwing those cutters inside.
One and two to Rollins.
He got some heat from the Giants dugout after that because it was similar to the pitch right before that was called a strike. Someone must have yelled, "Where is that?" because he turned and said it's outside.
Very authoritatively.
Yeah.
Rollins lines one, caught by Crawford. 2 outs. He'll get that one right on the nose. And Michael Young is coming to the plate. Young singled to right field his first time up and then came around to score the first run for the Phillies. Michael did not have a particularly good road trip. Like a lot of the ball club, he was 4 for 28.
Well, they didn't score a lot on that road trip after the first game.
No, in fact, after the first game, they scored only one more run in the next 8 games than they scored in that first game.
Right. That means you have to really pitch well and catch the ball well, and they certainly did.
3-0 to Young. Rollins talking to Charlie about that last at bat. He swings.
So I got it figured out. I'm looking for that cutter. I used to watch him when he pitched for Oakland.
This ball 4. Michael Young aboard with a 2-out walk. That'll give Chase Utley another chance. Chase singled his first time up. Last couple of years, the speculation for the Phillies has turned to which players will leave instead of really which players will come to Philadelphia. 2 years ago, Hunter Pence was a big topic because he came to Philadelphia with so much fanfare to help the Phillies get to the postseason. This year, it's the other way around, like last year. As Utley takes a strike, Chase's name has been brought up a number of different times, but now it seems like the Phillies are going to keep him and hope to keep him for the rest of his career. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. I like watching him play, that's for sure, being around him.
0-2 to Utley.
Everybody has their opinion on that, whether it's a good idea, bad idea. And right now, from the reports, and Jim Salisbury is one of the guys that got that started early, is that they're leaning towards signing him to a long-term contract. Well, long-term, to an extension.
I think what you said, though, you like watching him play. When he's healthy, he plays the game harder than anybody else.
Selfishly, for those of us who watch every game, like to watch him play. And you can understand others that have ideas on whether or not it's a good idea in the long run. And we don't have any decision making. Just say you like to watch a guy play. He plays the game the right way, and that's what's fun about it.
No balls, 2 strikes to Utley. And a called strike 3 on what looked like a very high pitch. It broke a little bit, but it didn't look like it broke enough to be called a strike. Phillies lead 1 here in the second. A walk to Michael Young. That's the pitch that Chase Utley was rung up on. Well, you can decide, but really the only guy that matters is the guy behind the plate. Out of Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, who was the last player before Buster Posey to win a league MVP, a batting title, and a World Series in the same season? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
We'll let our guest handle that.
Well, he can't answer right now, though. He's got to come back in the 7th inning.
He can tell me later.
We go to the top of the 3rd. Crawford will lead it off and takes a strike from John Lannon. Our guest, as Wheels is so nicely introduced.
It's called a tease.
Yeah. Is Paul Hagen, longtime writer here in Philadelphia, who this past weekend was inducted into the writers' wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And Paul threw out the first pitch tonight and now gets a chance to sit up here with us. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you, Tom.
I think we both wish we were there to see it this weekend, and we heard it went great.
Yeah, I was as much of it as I can remember. It seemed to go pretty well. It was just a whirlwind weekend.
That ball's hit toward the hole. Rollins backhands, no chance to get Crawford. So it'll be a base hit and a leadoff single. I know that there's so much that goes into the weekend, which we'll get to a little bit. When you think back to when your career began, I mean, could this have ever been something that you could have envisioned?
Oh heavens, no! It's just it's just like you go out and you do your job. And the analogy I've used, it's sort of like mowing your lawn. You know, when you're doing it, it's a job, and you just keep doing it. You keep doing it. But when you're done, you look back and you say, "Oh, yeah, the lawn looks pretty good tonight." So I think that's sort of it's when you're a beat writer, you have to do it every day. You have to come and work hard every day. And
well, Ruiz is just making a nice play in your honor right there. I mean, that's something that you go out and you see stuff like that, and that's the stuff you kind of appreciate.
Exactly. It's all about consistency. I think being a baseball beat writer is a lot like being a baseball player, except for the 1st and 15th of the month. but on the other days, it's just going out and giving your best every day, and then coming back tomorrow and doing it all over again.
There's the play right there. Carlos knows he has a play at second, then with Zito running. Good job by Jimmy Rollins to get away from the runner, and make the double play. Hey, one of the things when you do this as much as you've done, and we've all been around it for so long, how much of a fan of the game do you have to be?
I think you have to like baseball. I think in order to be good at writing about anything, you have to have passion about it. And if you don't have passion about anything, it's hard to write well about it. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the most important things, is to really love baseball and care about it. Come to the ballpark every day and say, well, what can I learn today?
Yeah, and care about the game itself and the well-being of the game. I've always felt, being around guys like you and all, there's a big picture involved in the whole business.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, I think it's important to have perspective. I think that's the word we're looking for here. And yeah, I think perspective, common sense, whatever you want to call it, is probably more important than pure talent, or that and work ethic, I think, are the two things that really matter.
I know that during your speech you got a chance to talk about your parents growing up in Buffalo, things like that. How great was it to see your family out in the audience as this was happening?
Well, it was probably the best part, and as I've said many times, when you're the beat writer, it's hard. You're gone a lot, but you're on the road. You have a nice expense account dinner every now and then. Every once in a while, I even had a beer. So, but while I was doing that, my family was at home and having to deal with that. So, yeah, you just can't do it without the support of your family. You can't do it as well as you'd like to.
That ball is floated down the right field line, foul.
Hey, last year I was lucky enough to be up there when Tim McCarver, when Tim McCarver was in. And I always wonder what it'd be like to stand up there, and you can say what it's like, and you're out there talking, right? But behind you is that collection of unbelievable people.
Yeah, the only guy I was worried about was Burt Blyleven, because I actually covered Burt in Texas in '77, and I was really afraid of what he might do, and I told him that.
So you probably shouldn't have told him that, though, Paul. Did he do anything?
No. He didn't.
Okay, good.
I have to tell you, so the ceremony was over. We start walking off the stage, and the first person who came over to congratulate me was Sandy Koufax. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
And since I wanted to cover a team home,
there's Paul get a chance to speak. Jeff Idelson, who's the president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, was helping to present the certificate to you. The 2-2 pitch to Torres in the dirt, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It is an amazing thing, though, the number of Hall of Famers that come up there and attend the part of the ceremony that honor the broadcasters and the writers.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice. And I really do think, I've said to many of them, that I know I'm not in the same category as they are, that the real Hall of Famers are in the plaque room, and the rest of us are in the room where you go up up the ramp, and it's off to the side a little bit. Not to take anything away from it. I mean, it's a tremendous honor. And, they all say no, we don't look at it that way. So that's, whether they believe it or not, it's really nice.
Well, hey, when they're there, though, Paul, they are going to visit your area. It's not like they're going to let that pass by. They're going to go to the plaques, but they're also going to go to your area, too.
Well, if you're going to see the Hall of Fame, you kind of can't avoid it.
Well, that's exactly
It's right on the beaten path.
It sure is.
Well, here's Marco Scutero with 2 outs and a runner at first. Scutero bunted his first time up. It was retired on a 1-4 putout. And Ladden's keeping an eye on Andres Torres over at first. The other part of it, a lot of your colleagues came up to Cooperstown. I always, when Harry was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was working that weekend. Wheels got a chance to go up just like he got a chance to go up with Tim McCarver last weekend. That must have been somewhat imposing to see all of your colleagues come up too. I know some of them were working, but still to be part of that weekend.
Yeah, the ones who could make it, I'm so grateful to them. Cooperstown is a great place, but it's not the easiest place in the world to get to. And for the effort they made to come up and be supportive and be part of it and celebrate with us, it means a lot to me.
Well, no balls and 1 strike to Scutero. Wheels, why don't you get that fat head out there that's behind the screen here.
I wonder where this was taken.
This is great. All right, so we've shown fat heads during the course of the last few years. Wheels has his own fat head that's up here in the booth. We have a Carlos Ruiz one too. And Paul, your writer friends have put this one together. This is going to go up on our wall back here. So when people tour the broadcast booth, they're going to see that fat head.
Well, I understand the photographer could only go with what he had to work with. Well. I mean, I understand that. But
where was that taken?
It was a little place in Clearwater on Baymont called Frenchie's.
Just had a wild guess.
You had a hunch, yeah.
One of your favorite places of all time, if not the favorite place of all time.
It's certainly my favorite in spring training, that's for sure.
Well, that's going to go up on our wall here, so we're appreciative that
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that they brought this stuff to us. I'm sorry, the Phillies did that. I said the writers did. The Phillies did that, and I apologize for that. That ball's nubbed foul. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes, but it will go up on the wall here. Favorite team? Is it tough to pick a favorite team that you covered over the years?
No, the '93 Phillies.
That's what I figured.
Not even close. I mean, I have great memories of certain players and certain parts of seasons, but the '93 team was just special to me. And to a lot of people around here. And I've had the opportunity doing some work for the Phillies and the Phillies magazine and Larry Schenk's alumni page to talk to a lot of those guys and do look backs, where are they now type stories on them. And it's just been a blast. And I don't think there's ever going to be a season like that.
And we'll see a lot of them this weekend too.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Some of them are a lot more fun to be around now than they were then.
The funny thing is, Wheels, and I'm sure it was the same with you guys. For the beat writers, they were pretty good. I know a lot of the national writers and the columnists and the people who came around occasionally might have found them a difficult group to work with. But if you were a beat writer and you were there every day and they respected how you did your job, yeah, sure, there were days when they were cranky and hard to get. But for the most part, they were great.
Well, and their manager was one of the better ones to deal with too, Jim Fregosi. I know when I was covering the team for the Trenton Times for place of George King, he made it easy too in a lot of ways.
There were days when he could make it easy, yeah.
Well, he would talk. Let me just say that. He would say things. You'd be able to pick up a number of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had a tremendous ability with that team to sit in there in his shorts and T-shirt and play cards with them. And then the bus would come, and that's when it would end. And, boy, he'd go in the office, and all of a sudden, he was the other guy.
Yep.
And they did respect him for that.
Absolutely. That was it was amazing how he could do that. And I have never seen a manager who could walk that line the way he could.
Unbelievable the way he would do it, because he'd be in there having a great time with him, and then all of a sudden it was time to get down to business. Let's go.
And I think, just a quick story, which you guys have probably told 1,000 times before. One night in Pittsburgh, before Darren Dalton became established as one of the better hitters in the league, Jim Fregosi pinch hit for him one night. And Darren didn't like it, and he went in after the game and said, "Why did you do that? I didn't like that." And Jim Fregosi said, "The reason I did it was I thought the guy I sent up had a better chance of getting a hit than you."
Period.
End of discussion.
Well, as you see there, Paul worked with the Philadelphia Daily News since 1987. Previously covered the Dodgers and the Rangers. Here's Pablo Sandoval with runners on first and second and 2 outs, and he takes low. So all of a sudden, Lannon has walked 2. The double play certainly helped him out. It was the second double play of the night for John Lannon. And it's 1 ball and no strikes now to Sandoval.
You looking forward to seeing that bunch this weekend?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I've had a chance to talk to probably a dozen of them on the phone in the last few months, so that's been nice. But it's going to be great to see them. And even the guys I haven't talked to on the phone, you see, I saw Tommy Green recently, saw Crucky in spring training. Yeah. So, you see him around a little bit too. Mitch.
What was the weekend itself like from a Hall of Fame standpoint, Paul? I mean, I know they've always talked about how well everybody treats you when you're up there, but what was that part like, the receptions and everything else?
The one thing I hadn't really thought of is you would think you'd go up there and you'd have a lot of time to sit back and relax, and there's really something going on all the time. So that was the one thing that I probably didn't quite expect. But honestly, it's such a whirlwind. Johnny Bench came up to me the first night and said, my advice to you is to keep a diary, because it's going to go really fast. You're going to forget a lot of stuff. So my advice to you is to keep a diary.
Did you keep a diary?
I have started it, but I got so busy that I didn't really keep up with it. I really need to tomorrow sit down and write down as much of it as I can remember.
1 ball, 1 strike to Sandoval. And he reaches out and loops one toward right field. That's going to drop for a hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Torres. He's going to score. And the Giants have tied this ball game up at 2 apiece. Little bloop single for Sandoval. It's his second RBI of the night. So the 2 walks come back to haunt John Lannon. And the runners are on first and third here in the third.
I got a changeup. Just hit it right off the end of the bat. As you said, the 2 walks are the things that kill you. Sandoval's a wild swinger. He will swing at anything. That probably isn't a strike. It is. Not even close to one. A diving changeup away. Guy makes a lot of contact and does those kind of things.
So Delman Young gets the throw in. All right, so 25 years at the Philadelphia Daily News. You're doing stuff for MLB.com, doing stuff for Phillies Pinstripes. What's next after being put into the writer's wing of the Hall of Fame?
I don't know, Tommy, but I did say in my speech that it's been an amazing journey, and I sure hope it's not over yet.
Well, we hope it's not over either, Paul, as Jimmy Rollins will retire. Pablo Sandoval, very happy for you.
Thanks, Tommy.
We wish we were there. And as we say goodbye here in the top of the third, we'll look back to Paul's speech this past weekend in Cooperstown. So, Paul, take it away.
They would have been so proud. They brought me to visit the Hall of Fame when I was maybe 10 years old. I can still remember being in awe of Babe Ruth's locker. They told me so many wise things. And one of them was, if a job is worth doing, it's worth doing right. I hope I did that. I know I often thought of that when I didn't really want to make that last phone call, didn't feel like taking the time to think of exactly the right word, thought I was too tired to check the facts one more time.
Day by W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? And by Nissan. At Nissan's Bottom Line Sales event, save on popular models now with bonus cash. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Well, last of the third, we're even at 2. You wouldn't think that if you saw both pitchers' pitch counts, but that's the way the game goes sometimes. It'll be Darren Ruff, Delman Young, and Kevin Franzen to start things off for the Phils against left-hander Barry Zito. And first pitch to Ruff is on the outside corner. So a couple walks by John Lannon. And a swing by Sandoval at a pitch that was definitely out of the strike zone. We're tied up at 2.
Well, that's what he does. He'll hurt you with non-strikes much as anybody. And that was a changeup. And then he just hit right off the end of the bat. But the walks are what did it. Hunter Pencil swinging a lot of first pitches too, and he did, and grounded out to get him out of it. Complaining going on both sides right now on balls and strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Darren Ruff. And then Ruff whips it foul over the tarp. Curveball out towards shallow center field. Long run for Torres. Pence is there too. And that'll bring Delman Young to the plate. Well, Paul Hagen was talking about this weekend. It is Alumni Weekend here at Citizens Bank Park. Friday, Curt Schilling will be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame. Saturday is a 4:05 start. And all the alums will be introduced prior to the start of the ball game. Sunday is now at 8:05 start. We showed you the 1993 pennant. Well, all fans coming to the game that day will receive a replica of the 1993 Phillies pennant. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. Full coverage of the Wall of Fame ceremony on Friday night will be on Comcast Sportsnet. Delman pops it up. Sandoval over toward the mound. 2 outs. reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting. Designated driver. Wheels, if you want tonight, I'll be your designated driver.
Don't worry about that with me.
All right, then you'll be our designated driver.
That'll work. I'll be good. I can find my way to Central Jersey.
Kevin Franzen takes a strike. It's 0-1.
You have Patrick here to take care of that for you.
That is true.
Your son. Firstborn. First graduate.
Franzen hits one toward right. Pence going back on it, and he makes the catch. Side is retired. Zito retires the Phils 1-2-3 here in the third. So our first three are in the books. We go to the fourth. It's the Giants 2 and the Phillies 2. Jeff Francoeur leads it off for the Giants here at the top of the fourth. Francoeur popped out his first time up, and he takes inside. We're even at 2. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Long homestand for the Phillies. Back toward the middle. Utley is there, and Francoeur's retired. While many office suppliers love to throw their customers curveballs, only WB Mason delivers their fastball right down the middle 100% of the time. Order by 11:30 and you receive your delivery same day guaranteed. Who but WB Mason. One out, Brett Pill, who singled his first time up, takes a strike. Pill was erased on a double play, one of 2 double plays the Phillies have turned tonight. 0-2.
Tom, I also had talked with Paul Hagen earlier, asked him the first player he interviewed in his career. And would you know that or not?
I do not know that, no.
You were looking at me like you were going to, was off the tip of your tongue.
I am hanging on your every word. I
was
it's trying to be attentive.
A guy that you know, guy that you respect, first base coach for the Tampa Rays, George Hendrick. But he didn't get many words out of him because George didn't talk to people.
That ball's hit out to left center field, and Pill was 2 for 2 in his return to the big leagues. Well, I think I've told this story before. When I was just out of college, I was writing for the Trenton Times. George King was the beat writer for the Times, and I would fill in from time to time with a couple of other guys, and Paul would sit right next to me, or I would sit next to him. That's where he was when he was with the Philadelphia Daily News, and always gracious for a young reporter, which is, you know, I think a great trait to kind of, you know, help somebody along who really isn't sure of which way to go when you're at the ballpark for the first time.
Yeah. Well, the teachers that we had, and Mays and McCovey, those guys, they've always said it was an obligation that we had to speak with the sports writers. They had a job to do and make sure, obviously, you did it in a timely fashion. No fair if you make an error to go in the shower and stay there for an hour or so. I mean, as you can get the headlines, and you're right there in your locker, and you're getting everybody coming and asking you things when things go bad, like Gary Maddox did, that cost the Phillies from actually getting into a World Series there in L.A., stood right there, answered every question after missing a ball in the ninth inning. Those are difficult things to do, but it didn't surprise me he was there because, again, we were taught to do that by Mays and McCovey, having that kind of relationship with the sports writer.
Yeah, the writers and the broadcasters, that ceremony takes place the day before the main induction ceremony takes place at Cooperstown. That ball's hit out towards center field by Keyrose. Mayberry's under it. He makes the catch. 2 outs here in the fourth. And there are a lot of former players who would like to see that changed and have it brought back to a collective ceremony. And it's because of the respect that a lot of the older players have for
sports
writers and broadcasters.
And I think too that they probably would respect that even more, though. Obviously, the sports writers and casters going in, or broadcasters, I should say.
Here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford singled his first time up. Takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, if you ever do get a chance to go to Cooperstown, I was there last year for the first time in a long time. You know, the plaques are beautiful to sit and watch, and all the other memorabilia that are there, but there is a section for the broadcasters and for the writers that is a great timeline for baseball history, and you don't want to miss it. And Paul, like a lot of the other writers, want everybody to know that the plaques are the important part and that their section is the extra part. But again, it's a timeline for the history of the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to be there and obviously recognize the way that he was would surely show you his contribution to baseball.
2 balls, 1 strike to Crawford.
And you got to have the respect of the players if you're around them, and obviously he does, and talk fondly of that 1993 ball club.
Ladden with 61 pitches, 2 outs here in the fourth. That'll be back behind home plate and out of play.
Pretty good pitch. Want to try and get that breaking ball away. Looks like this might be a fastball away.
Well, that pitch was perfectly placed on the outside part of the plate, right at the knees against Crawford, and the Giants are retired here in the fourth. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. John Gladden keeping the ball down, keeping it right around the strike zone. Gets through the fourth. We played 3.5. Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Bottom of the fourth and a beautiful night here in Philadelphia. Hope you're enjoying yourself wherever it is you're watching Phillies baseball. Crystal clear view of Center City. This is a battle of two teams that are trying to get back on track. Phillies have lost 8 straight. The Giants have lost 4 in a row. And it'll be John Mayberry, Carlos Ruiz, John Lannon. Bottom third for the Phillies against Barry Zito. This is the 5th game that Zito's pitched at Citizens Bank Park. He's 1-2 with an earned run average of 4.68. It is other 4.
I think you'd have a lot better success if you actually crowded the plate on a pitcher like this. And I say that because he doesn't have a pitch that he can throw by you, not on this level. You might swing and miss some, but he's not the type that can just reach back and throw it by you. And then you take away his strength, which is any kind of ball that would be away, or that curveball that he throws about 76 or so.
Well, there's the fastball, 83. Mayberry's behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, we talked about that hitting before. A lot of times players don't feel comfortable on top of the plate. To do this guy a favor, the more plate that you're giving. Plus 2, you can't be afraid to hit with 2 strikes on you. Pick out the pitch you want. Just make sure it's somewhere in your zone.
There's a liner to left field. That's going to be in for a base hit. That was a hanging curveball, and the Phillies were finally able to grab one of those hanging curveballs and pick up a base hit. Tomorrow at 5, CSNPhilly.com's Jim Salisbury has the latest on the MLB trade deadline. Who stays and who goes? Plus, Reuben Frank with an update from Camp Kelly. All that and more on the next Philly Sports Talk, presented by Classic Nissan. Tomorrow at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Now Carlos Ruiz. His frustration continues. His last at-bat, Sarge. I'm sure you were sitting watching and probably thought right along with Carlos. He thought he had a pitch he could drive. It was up a little bit, and he just popped it up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell how high it was. And again, normally this is not the type of pitch that's going to give you a quality strike on that first pitch. That pitch there borderline, even though it was outside. So again, you just can't be afraid to hit with 2 strikes on it. You know, get yourself a pitch to hit. And again, he's not going to be able to throw the ball by you, not throwing 83, 84 for a fastball, or even 86 for that matter.
Carlos rips it foul. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Frustrating as a hitter when you come out the year that Carlos had last year. Felt good at the plate, knowing the strike zone. 16 home runs last year. None so far this year. That'll have you thinking about it.
That one's ripped toward deep left field. Going back on it is Francoeur. It is gone! First home run of the year for Carlos Ruiz. And the Phillies retake the lead here in the bottom of the 4th.
Wow. A little bit of an angry type of a swing. 66 innings they have gone without hitting a home run. Carlos ending that drought, and the drought for him maybe he'll start to kind of take off now. Much better hitter than what he's been doing. And that ball there, he knows it has a chance. But guess what? This is a line drive that gets out of here, hitting against that front foot. We talked about that before. And when you do with slow feet, take a look at the line drive and bingo, gets right out of here. Got to make him feel great.
Well, and Maureen Damaraki from Sea Isle City, congratulations. You have our highest jackpot total of the year, $800, thanks to Carlos Ruiz and our McDonald's home run jackpot. You saw that note, September 25th, 2012 was the last home run for Ruiz, and the Phillies are on top 4-2.
Probably be thinking to himself, I knew sooner or later I would be able to get one out of here, but you never know when you're not swinging good.
Well, doubt is a very difficult thing in any walk of life to get out of your head. Doesn't matter what you do.
No. No, and he has a lot of pride, not only in the defensive part, but also line drive called on that offensive part. He's been a big part of it for the Fighting Phils. Little line drive there as he gets up, full extension. Difficult part about the play is just being able to time it.
Well, Bruce Bochy's coming out. He's going to make a double switch. He goes out to Will Little, the home plate umpire, and he's going to take Crawford, the shortstop, out, and he's also going to take Barry Zito out of the ball game after 82 pitches. So a double switch for San Francisco. They trail at 4-2 here at the bottom of the fourth inning. One man down. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen. We'll let you know about the new pitcher, and we'll let you know about the new shortstop when we return. The final game is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special. All fans coming to the ballpark that day will receive the Chase Utley Pride of the Phillies print. And after the game, fans 14 and under will get a chance, thanks to Modell's, to run the bases here at Citizens Bank Park. Joaquin Arias is the new shortstop for San Francisco. He'll bat ninth, and Guillermo Moscoso, just added to the Giants roster today, will make his first appearance since being brought up. 29-year-old who we've seen before with a couple of other organizations. Takes over for Barry Zito, who Sarge goes 3 1/3, 5 hits, a lot of runs.
Yeah, well, hasn't won a game on the road the whole year. ERA is really high. Bochy managers seeing enough and probably have seen that before, so he's feeling right now with a 2-run deficit that maybe might have a chance if they can hold them right there.
Jimmy Rollins, the hitter, and he takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. The line on Zito: 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Rollins 0 for 2.
Well, that's not a very happy look, obviously. It's got to be pretty hard, too, on Zito. I mean, this guy's had some really great years over his career, and particularly with the Oakland A's. And then to get to a point where, you know, sure, you can throw strikes, but just hasn't been your game.
It's hard to point to one thing, too.
Well,
command, velocity. He was never an overpowering
No.
pitcher.
Yeah, but that being able to spot the ball and being able to get that curveball where you want to was his bread and butter.
Rollins pulls it foul, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to him. Out toward left field. It's not deep. Francoeur on the run. He's not going to get there. And Rollins is going to get 1. Big turn, bobbled by Francoeur, and he's going to get to second. Well, that'll be a single and an error charge to Francoeur.
Yeah. Well, J-Ro going around the base wasn't going to go. Obviously, Francoeur has a reputation for a strong arm, just kind of dinking him. Francoeur just bobbling the ball off the end of the bat, breaking ball as he hits it. Now he'll turn it on right now. Now he'll go back again after he sees that he misses it. But again, for a fielder, all you got to do is just catch the ball, and you can see there taking his eye right off the ball. You got to make sure you almost see it into your hand, but definitely in the glove.
All right, so the Phils have a runner in scoring position. They lead it by 2 thanks to the home run by Ruiz. Michael Young's the hitter. And it's a strike to Young at 92 miles an hour. He's been on base twice today. A single and a walk. Pickoff play on. A little daylight. There he is. Put his glove out. And then Rollins is back easily.
Good pitch from a right-handed pitcher. That's the pitch that most right-handed batters could stay off of. That looks like a fastball and darts away. They would have a lot better success in hitting, especially with 2 strikes. That's a pitch there you almost will swing at it just about every time.
That one was a little closer to the plate, but he was fooled on it. It's listed as a changeup. It had breaking ball action to it, almost like a split. And it's 1-2 to Michael Young.
That's a good call on that. That's exactly what I thought that was, a split pitch before, a little slide piece. And you can tell by the way that the ball is either tumbling or that little tight little spot that you would see there dot on that slider, fastball. Or maybe changeup.
Yeah, that was a change. That didn't change. It just stayed up. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Michael Young. Michael Young hits it the opposite way. Pence on the run. He's going to get to the spot. Makes the catch. Rollins tags and he'll head to third. 2 outs with a runner at third. For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets. And this season, you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Chase, he's 1 for 2. He struck out looking his last time up.
Yeah, I thought that was a high breaking ball for me. Didn't think it was a strike at all.
Well, they're going to walk him intentionally because they've got Ruff on deck, a right-handed batter, less experience.
Ooh, almost threw that ball.
I was going to say, Moscoso better be careful.
Close to the outside part of the plate.
Bochy to your left. Dave Urgetti to your right.
They're just kind of playing the odds on this one, but this will certainly get Darren Ruff's attention.
Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Mets lead the Marlins 2-0. Zach Wheeler has a no-hitter through 5 for New York. Marlins had their hitting coach Tino Martinez resign a couple days ago. They're the worst offensive team, one of the worst offensive teams in the majors. It's not entirely his fault, but it seemed like there was some friction going on.
Yeah, well, for me, those guys they have on that team, you don't want to listen to Tino. You have some serious problems. Don't have the full story on that, and we'll get it before it's all said and done. But again, you have one of the better players that have played in the game there that's not out and helping players. And, it's just a shame because you need those kind of guys, for me, around baseball.
0-2 now to Ruff.
Just talking with him here, I mean, he loved the job, loved what he was doing. But it's rough being a hitting coach.
As you say that with experience.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't have to always have those bags packed. Let me tell you something, or go out and just invest in a place. You might want to stick around. And I've said it before, you want to be a good hitting coach, have good hitters. Because on this level, if you're bringing in guys that can't hit the fastball, and we've talked about that plenty of times, or really can't understand what you're teaching them, it's just can be very frustrating.
0-2 pitch. Oh, it hit him. I think it glanced off his shoulder and may have hit him in the helmet, and that'll load the bases up. Said he's okay.
Well, he's got to turn that hit a little bit quicker for me.
Ball kept on running in.
Kept on running in, and again with an open stance. See, that ball's up there, then I am out of there as it hits him on the shoulder as opposed to the helmet. Take a look at it again there. Maybe glancing off of that, but oh boy, very lucky. And again, that's the two-seamer, and that two-seamer runs in on a right-handed batter.
Yeah, it just grazed off the top of the helmet after it hit his shoulder. Nothing big there. More his shoulder than anything else. So now the bases are loaded. Delman Young is the batter. Delman takes inside. I think Keyrose may have been crossed up on that pitch.
Yeah, I might right now have to let him throw me a strike. Going to take until that point, just because hopefully you're thinking he's upset. Boy, he just boxed that up.
He was thinking a different pitch there, Sarge. He's fortunate it didn't go right on by him. Well, Delman wasn't thinking about taking.
Well, I know one thing. When I see him wild like that, and the mere fact that Darren, where he got hit, I'm going to make him throw me a strike. Kind of be on your P's, kind of on your toes up there a little bit.
Check swing. He went, according to according to the home plate umpire Will Little.
I'm going to tell you, Little's had a weird little strike zone, too. Take a look at it and see whether or not this situation. I always think the umpires should get help on that.
That wasn't even close. Well, the at-bat has changed because now he's down 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And a curveball line caught by Scudero. Side is retired. Phillies do score 2 against Barry Zito. A home run by Carlos Ruiz, his first of the year. And it comes on the 30th of July. Phillies will take it. They lead it by 2 as we go to the 5th. Live baseball available for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Phillies baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. Arias will lead it off as he came on as part of a double switch. Arias foul tips the next pitch, and it's 0-2. Arias overall hitting .280. He has 33 hits in 118 at-bats.
No walks. Want to make sure they hit to get on.
Yeah, the walks that he issued in the third are really the big blemish for him tonight.
Anytime, though, pitchers that just can't strike guys out, depending on wanting the hitter to hit their pitch, ground balls, they can't afford to walk a lot of those hitters.
There's a strikeout. Yep, he threw him a changeup toward the outer edge. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lannon. Back to the top of the order, and while Andres Torres walks to the plate, we'll walk on over to Greg Murphy. Busy day around the ballpark, Murphy, even though not a whole lot has taken place just yet.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Tom. And, you know, just walking around the ballpark tonight, it's really what everyone wants to talk about. The trade deadline less than 24 hours away. And, you know, everybody has questions, and that includes the players, that includes the managers and the coaches. And, you know, people want to know what's going to happen. Well, Ruben Amaro Jr. today on the Major League Baseball Network was interviewed, and He said that, at the moment they are still talking to a lot of different teams. They are talking to teams to buy some players. They're talking to teams to sell some players. But as of right now, he made it pretty clear that he doesn't believe, any deal is imminent, certainly. And he would be surprised if anything happened before the 24-hour deadline at this point. So they're working the phones, but they have yet to be blown away by anything that, to give away a player of a certain caliber. So, they're waiting to see what happens. And certainly, the 24 hours or less than at this point before the trade deadline, a lot can happen. But as of this point, the Phillies are staying pat.
Yeah, baseball-wise, there's been, I don't want to say small moves, but a lot of bullpen guys have been bouncing around from place to place. I thought it was interesting today, Murph, when Charlie Manuel said, and Sarge, I don't know if you heard these comments, where he was asked about whether the team can contend, where they are right now. And he said, listen, quite frankly, we have a ways to go in order to contend, whether it be this year or next year.
Right. Well, I agree with that. And I think everyone knew that somewhat coming out of spring training, just always depending on that bullpen, besides the defense that you have to play. Not many teams can go out there and win it without having a strong bullpen. Charlie's a realist, and he knows whether or not that team can win or not. Obviously, he goes out and tries to win every ball game that he possibly can. But you got to have the horses to be able to have that 162 ball game and come on top of that. A lot of things have to go right for you, evident of what has happened here the last several years. And that's not to say they don't have good arms. They have good arms, but they're not able to get the ball where they want to right now. So it kind of takes away from the whole way that they pitch. Pitchers have to be able to set up their hitters.
Sarge, Charlie has talked about it time and time again because he's been asked about it time and time again. But he has said before, it's difficult for some of these guys to learn at the major league level. And that's what they're being asked to do right now for whatever reason, for whether or not the depth wasn't there or because of injury. A lot of these guys being asked to learn at the major league level. And it hasn't worked out the way that they certainly had hoped. And, no one's making excuses. Injuries are a part of the game, and everyone deals with that. The Phillies are dealing with their own, too. But, Charlie, as you said, Tom, was a realist today, saying they're a little bit of ways away. They need a couple of things to happen, and they need a couple pieces to fall into place if they're going to be able to get a team back in contention, not just this year, but in the future.
Well, it's 3 balls and no strikes to Pablo Sandoval. 2 outs here at the top of the 5th. The runner at first. Phillies lead it by 2 thanks to a home run by Carlos Ruiz. Sandoval has both RBIs tonight for the Giants. And he's got the green light, and he fouls it off.
And the other thing about that, even in trading a player or players, you got to be able to get some guys you would think that would come back to help you within a year or two. So, I mean, it's just, for me, not just getting rid of a guy. I've always thought if you did that, you needed to have a guy that was just as good or better in that spot that you got rid of.
That ball's hit toward third on 1 hop to Michael Young. He'll go to second. The short way side is retired. Fielder's choice, 5-4 in the putout. Lannon leaves 1. We're through 5. Cliff Lee, who didn't make his last start, has a lot on his mind as we head into tomorrow. For baseball and softball camps, you get professional coaching, skill development from Phillies players, coaches, and baseball academy instructors. Go to PhilliesCamps.com or call 610-520-3400 for more information. Class of the fifth fills up by 2, 4-2. Charlie Manuel working the crowd.
Yep.
Going through the dugout.
Steve Henderson, hitting coach, and he wears that not hitting right on his sleeve. Not very happy about the production that his hitters have had this year. It all starts too with a solid at bat, having a good game plan when you go up to the plate, knowing what the pitcher's going to throw, his weakness, and also the umpire, whether or not he's an umpire that just calls balls on the plate, or whether or not maybe he's a little more liberal.
Well, this losing streak for so many people was difficult. And from an offensive standpoint, Phillies only hit 202, or have only hit 202. They've averaged 1.8 runs per game, which is why this is nice that they're at 4 at this point. Outside, 1-2. Branson's 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his first time.
Pretty hard thrower. Sorry, Tom. It doesn't appear he actually knows where his pitches are going, and especially that fastball, that two-seamer that runs in. He's had a little bit more success on the slider.
Out of play. Chuck said today that Kevin Franzen, with Cody Ashley coming up, will still play.
Yep.
He'll still play a little first. He'll play some second. He might even play some third. And he may find himself out in the outfield. Franzen, that is.
Wow.
And a called strike 3.
That's awful. Now here's a guy who's battling and you're battling, and then you call a pitch that's up and in. I don't know. Let's take a look at it as that ball comes in, and I'm saying it's a ball all the way. Ball all the way. Second time, too, though, that we've had Will Little. We had him in the second game there in New York. Kind of should be a little bit used to his style, but again, now you know if it's close and you have 2 strikes, you got to start swinging. You'll go back and look at it. Wally giving him a little tap, knowing that that ball was not a strike, and Franzen takes a lot of pride about all the at-bats that he gets.
That one's grounded toward third. Sandoval stays down on it. 2 outs.
Well, finally got this over with. That home run, that is. First home run for Carlos Ruiz this year. 2 red bomb as he trots around home plate. Well, it's got to make him just feel really good.
It's his first home run in 308 days. And he fouls the first one back. It's 0-1. So you seem to think that now that he's got the first one, they're going to start coming in bunches.
I think he'll hit more. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You know, and I thought early on, though, that he was really starting to kind of find it, hitting the ball up the middle. Carlos is a line drive hitter. This ballpark really made for him. once he starts to try and lift the ball, that's when he usually gets into trouble. Start hitting more home runs. Just going to trust your swing and, you know, your ability to be able to see the ball.
Well, he swings and misses a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2-3 go the Phillies. It's only the second time tonight. They've been retired in order. 5 in the books. We go to the top of the 6th innings. The Phillies 4, the Giants 2. Providing many moments to remember with their arms and gloves. Despite struggles at the plate, the Phillies have kept their focus while in the field. Patrolling the outfield and infield, they've been providing solid defensive plays behind their pitchers and picking off base runners trying to take that extra base. As usual, Chase is ready to make a play whenever needed, and Kyle's reactions were ready as well. The leather is ready even if you have to make your way through the crowd for a play. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, who says the fanatic can't adjust? It's Italian Heritage Night here at the ballpark, brought to you by Fiat. Well, Smiley, the Hatfield Pig, and the fanatic have adjusted. They're not shooting dog Sarge, they're shooting Italian sausages.
Oh, wow.
They can adjust just on the fly.
Yep.
We go to the 6th. Hunter Pence leads it off, takes a breaking ball. It's 0-1. So he's up 2. Hunter Pence, who this year is making a little under $14 million with the Giants. A fan favorite not only here in Philadelphia for a short period of time, but also in San Francisco. There's some thought that he'll be traded before tomorrow's deadline.
Yeah, well, he's a type of hitter. I mean, swings at a lot of pitches, but at the end of the day, he always seems to have his stats or somewhere around there. May not reach 100 RBIs this year, but you give him an opportunity. I mean, with the right team, he's a special player. Special player here, special player there in San Francisco, and they credit Hunter the reason why they end up winning it. From the not so much of his play, but because of the way he was actually talking and keeping everybody together.
Yeah, they've nicknamed him the Preacher because of the way he kept everybody together last year. They would like to re-sign him. They've said that, but they could also trade him and then re-sign him as he becomes a free agent after the season. So we'll see. I think the next few hours before the trade deadline is going to be interesting for a lot of players because teams are going to start to get a little more desperate and think that they need certain pieces to compete.
Absolutely right. Players get a little bit anxious, don't know whether or not their names are being rumored or not.
0-1 pitch. Ground ball softly to short. Rollins charges. 2 outs.
Good pitch, good location. Carlos Ruiz calling for that ball up and in, and he got it right there. And that's what pitching is all about. Both the pitcher and the catcher, they can all be together calling pitches. So you got to be able to throw the ball where the catcher wants you to throw it, and that's when you're setting up the hitter. Pitchers are doing that same thing.
No balls and 1 strike. That one went into the second row. Brett Pill has 2 hits tonight, and it's high, 1-1. Giants had a chance to meet, as you see the distribution of outs for Lennon. Got a chance to meet yet again President Obama yesterday on the South Lawn. And they left saying to themselves that they finally, after what's been a long homestand, felt like the team that won the World Championship last year. Whether that pays off or not the rest of the year, psychologically, who knows? John Lannon tonight has kind of kept the Giants off balance for the most part, as he just worked his first 1-2-3 inning of the night to take us to the bottom of the 6th. University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Phillies on top 4-2. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And Guillermo Moscoso, who was on in relief of Barry Zito, came on in the 4th, pitched a 1-2-3 5th. And he'll face John Lannon, and then the top of the order for the Phils. Time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game. And early on, Marco Scudero came awfully close to a couple. With John Lannon's ball, he came close enough to make a leaping grab. It's our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Good athlete.
So Lannon will lead it off. He's 0 for 2. By the way, Zach Wheeler's no-hitter has gone into the 7th for the Mets. He just struck out Giancarlo Stanton to start the bottom of the 7th. Mets lead that game 2-0. 1-1 pitch to Lannon. 2-1.
be having problems with that fastball and being able to throw strikes with it. That should be a pitch that should be the easiest for him to throw a strike with his fastball.
Well, he just walked Gladden to put the leadoff batter aboard here in the 6th. Well, don't forget this Thursday, the Phillies will honor Brad Lidge prior to the start of the final game of this 3-game series against the San Francisco Giants. All fans coming to the ballpark will receive the Brad Lidge photo, compliments of Toyota. Tickets can be purchased at Phillies.com. It'll be great to see Brad.
Yeah.
He'll meet with the members of the media prior to the game. We'll get a chance to talk to him at some point during the game. Brad had such a special 2008, just as the Phillies did. Rollins hits one in the air to right field. It's high, it's deep, but it's playable for Pence on the track, and he makes the catch.
Just missing, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Got it on the good part of the bat. It's one of those pitches that you'd like to have back.
He's had some good swings tonight. Maybe not the first at bat, but since that time. He got the base hit his last time up. Actually, his two of his 3 outs have been fantastic swings.
Yep, he's giving you that kind of look like, oh, I just cannot believe I missed that pitch.
Michael Young's 1 for 2.
And you know you've missed them because you've hit some before in that same spot that it was thrown. A lot of times just coming off just a little will cause you to not square the ball up.
In the air to left field. That's well hit, and that one's not coming back. It is gone! A 2-run home run for Michael Young. And the Phillies have extended their lead to 4. John Ladder better be careful because Michael Young is coming right on his heels. And that was a no doubt about it home run right off the bat.
That particular pitch coming right back into his swing. He'd been having problems throwing that fastball for a strike, so he starts it out a little further. Look at that. Boy, right there, no problem. Just a classic swing there when you're ahead in the count. Didn't miss it. Solid. There's those eyes right down on it in the good part of the bat, reaching out. That ball is out of here.
So the Phillies lead at 6-2. They've hit a couple home runs tonight. Michael Young, it's his 8th home run of the year. He has 34 RBIs, and he has scored a couple of runs to give him 40 for the season.
You can just tell by the sound when the ball hits the bat whether or not it's going out or not. Just no doubt about it. Good feeling. Don't even feel it on the bat when you hit them like that.
Grounded to second. Scudero's there. Well, with that home run and Ruiz's home run, and each one hit by the Phillies this season, one tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit Phillies.com/red goes green. Darren Ruff is 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch his last time up.
Same thing there for Darren Ruff. Just sitting back, get that ball out over the plate. That ball is a little too high. Don't feel too good or comfortable after a pitcher that you don't know in that area where he hit you, because that ball was still moving in.
Swing and a miss. The other side is retired, but the Phillies score a couple more on a 2-run home run. A little bit of a slide piece there, Sarge.
Looks like it to me, for sure.
Michael Young's 2-run home run has given the Phils a 4-run lead.
Italian Heritage Night. Fiat Italian Heritage Night, and the Phillies with a 6-2 lead. Figure they're going to get a couple home runs tonight. They were just due, and they've hit 2 of them in this ball game. And John Lannon done a nice job, gave up a couple of runs, one after 2 walks, but for the most part, he's pitched well and gotten his ground balls.
Yeah, both RBIs are off the bat of Pablo Sandoval. He retired the side of New Order in the 6th inning. Quiros leads it off, and he fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Giants catcher, who's catching tonight because Buster Posey just wasn't feeling well. He was in the original starting lineup. He felt ill, so they scratched him.
Yeah, and you know, boy, Posey's one of those guys. He must not feel well because he plays. He's having another really good year. Not many of those guys are having real good years, but he is.
Yeah, 0 for his last 18 and 1 for his last 23.
Yeah, and up until that time.
Two and 2. Quiros just gets a piece of it. Quiros the pitcher spot, and Gregor Blanco's out in the on deck circle. And then Arias due up as we begin the 7th.
Ryan is starting to sneak up on 100 pitches. They would really want to get him through this 7th inning.
Liner toward the gap in left center field, and that's going to get past Ruff and go to the wall. Quiros on his way to second, and he'll be there with his 7th double of the season. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. So now Gregor Blanco will pinch hit for Moscoso. Phillies do have bullpen action getting up behind John Lannon. Justin DeFreitas starts to throw. He still has the bottom of the order that he's dealing with here, even though it's a pinch hitter in Blanco.
Well, they've obviously had a lot of problems lately. One of them has been their bullpen. And I think they figure they get to Bastardo and Papelbon, they're a little more comfortable. But before that, they're not. So that's why, point being, they really want to get him through 7.
Up high, 1-1. Little dribbler up the first base side, picked up by Lannon. And he gets the out over to third.
Yeah, that's a good out right there. Now they can play the infield. Blanco can fly. And if Lannon wasn't really athletic on that play, they'd have a first and third, nobody out. That play had to be made perfectly by the pitcher.
So Joaquin Arias is up. Arias was up one time so far. He struck out.
Watch this play by Lannon. He jumps off here really well, and he doesn't panic. He gloved it and threw to first. Almost thought he just barehanded the way that Blanco can run, but he felt he could transfer, and he did.
Arias hits one off the end of the bat softly towards second. Utley charges. They'll get the out. Run scores, even though Quiros waited before he came home. He wasn't going on contact. So an RBI, and it's now a 6-3 ball game.
Well, that's a catcher there at third base who doesn't run very well. And the one thing they didn't want to take any chance on is that ball was hit hard enough that Utley didn't even think about coming home, even though they figured he wouldn't with a 4-run lead. So that's why he hesitates between third and the plate, and he watches it to see it dribbling out towards second, and Utley's not going to make a play anywhere except the first. Then he came home. That's one of those. Coach will talk to a runner about that. That's a read and react play.
So top of the order, Andres Torres. He takes strike one. Torres has scored a couple runs tonight. He's doubled. He's walked. He grounded out his last time. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Go over your scorecard, and normally when Lannon has this many ground balls, he's going to have a pretty good game. And he has a lot of ground ball outs again tonight. Coming into play tonight, 67.3% of the balls that are in play off this guy in his career are ground balls.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Torres. Swing and a miss. He tied him up with a cutter. Good pitch from John Lannon. And the side is retired. He allows a run, but he's gotten through 7 with 103 pitches. His night may be done. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia. And you can stretch off this strikeout by John Lannon of Andres Torres. And the Phillies lead it by 3.
a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes are out and the old game.
Jackie Dunleavy.
On Italian Heritage Night here at Citizens Bank Park, the Italian Opera of Philadelphia performing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. It's been a fun night, and it's been even better because John Lannon has taken the Phillies into the bottom of the 7th with a 6-3 lead. Lannon struck out Andres Torres to wrap up the inning. Gregor Blanco stays in the ball game to play center field for the Giants. And the new pitcher is right-hander Gene Machi. 31st game, 2-0, a 3.09 ERA. So Machi is on to face Delman Young, Kevin Franzen, and John Mayberry.
Well, that's where you figured they would go if they could get Lannon through 7. John did a really good job to accomplish that. And now they'll go to Bastardo, and they hope Papelbon and snap this, get rid of that snowman that they have right now, that 8-game losing streak.
Delman tonight is 1 for 3, and he takes a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Phillies have a ton of games coming up here at Citizens Bank Park.
Well, they played a lot of road games, more than anybody in Major League Baseball, tied with Minnesota for the fewest home games.
So although they're far under the 500 mark, it's 7 games under 500, and in 3rd place in the National League East, they can make up some ground here at home for the final couple months of the season. Now, where that leads them, well, they're far away from a playoff berth, obviously,
right,
but they can certainly turn their season into something a little more energetic for the final couple months of the season.
Play a week of good games would be a start. Just good games.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Delman swinging bunt up the 3rd base line. Even with his speed, there's no chance to get it. He's aboard with his 2nd hit of the night. And that'll bring Kevin Franzen up with the Phillies on top by 3. And it also gives us a chance to take a look at the Major League Notebook with Fred Murphy. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. Brought to you by Gwynedd Mercy College, of course. The Los Angeles Dodgers continuing to make some moves. According to several reports, they have signed former Giant closer Brian Wilson to a 1-year, $1 million deal. The object is to put him down in the minor leagues for about 2 weeks, and if all goes well, he'll be up on the Major League roster. And it's been a kind of a quiet day as the Major League trade deadline is upon us, but the Indians have acquired some bullpen help. They got Mark Zepchinski from St. Louis in a trade today. He is the left-handed reliever that they so desperately need. And don't count those Cleveland Indians out right now. They're playing some pretty good baseball. And guys, just 2.5 games behind those Detroit Tigers. So they're making moves today.
It's amazing because we just saw as Martinez draws the throw, he's on the pinch run for Young. We just saw the Tigers, and we saw the Indians earlier this year, and they're a very good team. But as good as the Tigers have been, they have a very small lead in the division.
Yeah, the Indians have really hung around, even though they had that really long losing streak, too. But they're right there, Murph. When you see the Tigers this weekend, they're like everybody else. They have holes.
Absolutely. You know, it's really hard to find that team that is flawless out there. I'm not sure they exist in Major League Baseball, so everybody thinks they're in it, and certainly just 2.5 games back, the Indians believe they are.
Arias throws out Franzen, 1 out here in the 7th. Well, you could say the same thing about the Pirates and the Cardinals. Now, the Pirates won game 1 of their doubleheader, so they've taken over first place in the National League Central. We saw the Cardinals last week, and in our eyes, there wasn't a better team in baseball, and they've lost 5 straight.
They can't hit all of a sudden. They cannot score runs. What they lose, 2-1 the first game?
2-1 in the first game.
So they got 1 run again.
They're trailing 1-0 in game 2.
They went down to Atlanta and just basically got shut down by the Braves.
1 away, runner at second. John Mayberry's up.
everybody's going to have those streaks during the course of a long baseball season where you just go through it. You can't do anything right after you've been doing everything wrong, or you can't do anything right. And you were doing everything right for a long time. And they're going through that right now. And the key is, when do you go through it? And you don't want to go through it the last week of the season.
Mayberry lines one into left field. That's a base hit going to the wall. Martinez is going to coast home from second. And Mayberry will pull into second with an RBI double. It's a 7-3 Phillies lead. It's turned out to be a nice night for John Mayberry.
Yeah, he has a bases loaded walk, an RBI, a single, and a run scored, now a double and an RBI. He got a fastball a little bit down and in and just dropped the head on it. And that ball had hook on it the minute he hit it into the corner.
Mayberry in scoring position. Carlos Ruiz is coming up. Cody Ashley's come out in the on-deck circle for the Phillies. Pickoff play.
And you see a chance now to get Cody Ashley a first major league at bat off a right-hander. I wonder what he's thinking right now. He always what goes through a guy's head the first time he comes up to big leagues.
He's pretty calm today. You know, he took infield with everybody else before BP.
Well, one thing he has in his favor is he knows a lot of these guys because he was around all spring. Well, not all spring, but around a good portion of spring training. And a lot of them really took to it.
That ball's back toward the middle softly. Scudero's got it. And he throws Ruiz out over to third, Mayberry. And there are 2 outs. And ladies and gentlemen, the major league debut for Cody Ashley is about to take place.
John Lennon. Number 25, Cody Ashley.
Oh, Ashley last year, I think, is the first time he started to come on everybody's radar after a solid season. Now this year, he's been hitting the ball very well. 15 home runs, 295 average. He's hit in 10 straight. And the first pitch at his major league debut is outside 1-0.
But one thing you notice in spring training is some of the vets were taking him out to play golf with him. They would take him out to dinner. And that's always a sign that when you see that with a young player with veterans during spring training, that he's doing things the right way. And they want to be around him and they want to help him a little bit. Saw a lot of that with him this year.
2-0. Phillies, with Michael Young's pending free agency, have Ashe, and they have Michael Franco, who's still a Double-A and has had just a phenomenal year. 20-year-old third base prospect. Ashe's only 23. 2-0 pitch to him. Pops it up. Right side. Scudero, the second baseman, is there. And the side is retired. The Phillies do get a run on a double by John Mayberry. We've completed 7. Well, day number 1 of the big leagues is in the books for Ashe. All right, Wheels, here you go. Who was the last player before Buster Posey to win a league MVP, batting title, and World Series in the same season?
Well, he's probably in the Hall of Fame, right?
He is in the Hall of Fame.
Just a lucky guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Let me think of a hint.
Yeah. Well,
he was an MVP in both leagues.
He just gave me the hint. That's how many guys have been MVP in both leagues?
I don't know.
That had that kind of talent.
I don't know.
Frank Robinson
is correct.
But I had no idea.
I had to give you some kind of a hint.
Yeah. I wonder how many guys have been MVPs in both leagues. That'd be something to look up another time.
John Mayberry moves from center field to right field. And Michael Martinez stays in the ballgame and plays center. There's Antonio Bastardo. 3-2 in his 46th game now, as he takes over for John Lannon, who did a nice job tonight through 7 innings. Lannon scattered 7 hits and 3 runs.
A lot of ground balls, and that's his game.
3 strikeouts. I thought the only inning where he scuffled was the third, when he walked those 2 batters with 2 outs.
And thankfully, there were 2 outs, as he said. Well, right now he's started 4 games against the Giants, 2 earned runs or less. Tonight 3, or well, yeah, 3 earned runs or less. It was 2 before tonight. He gave up 1 more. There, that last one. I'd written down that he had done it, and then he got the other one. Well, that's very good.
So Bastardo will face Scudero to start it off. It'll be Scudero, Sandoval, and Pence. 2, 3, and 4 for San Francisco. At a strike, 0-1.
This is part of, we're talking about clean games too. You have this game right where you want it right now, even more with a 4-run lead, and you don't need your back of your bullpen to come in and start giving up stuff or making it interesting.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Look at Ruiz look out at Bastardo just then, like, what was that? Like, what are you trying to? You're going to get me hurt with pitches like that.
They do have that kind of relationship where, you know, Carlos, usually you can tell when he's a little ticked off at Bastardo, he starts firing the ball back at him.
Well, he was ticked off just then. Like, what are you doing throwing a ball in the dirt? I want the ball in the dirt when there's 2 strikes on somebody.
The dirt, 2-2. Out toward left field, not deep, playable for either Ruff or Martinez, and it's Ruff who calls and makes the catch. 1 out. Pablo Sandoval's coming up. Time now to take a look at our Mazda leaders. And Pablo Sandoval last year in Game 1, a little bit of baseball history. 3 home runs in 1 World Series game. He joined Pujols, Reggie Jackson, and the Babe, who did it twice.
And they made some statement in Game 1 last year against the Detroit Tigers. He hit those first 2 off Verlander. And Verlander's out there throwing 95, 96, and he hits 2 balls out of the park. And the Tigers had to look in their eye like, what's that all about? Nobody's done that to us. Not to this pitcher.
Yeah, they went on to sweep the Tigers.
And it was a little intimidating right out of the chute when they did that to them, to their guy, to a guy like Verlander.
Over to third, a foul ball. And now quickly it's 0-2. Every time the Phillies retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Fish, we're almost biting on that one.
Yeah, I tried to throw him a little breaking ball there, and Sandoval held up on it. Oh. Wow. He had a real good look at it.
Well, not only that, but he got punched out on a pitch, or got called a strike earlier in the game on a similar pitch that he didn't think was a strike. The same with Franzen, who got punched out on one earlier.
That's a strike in any league. And I think Sandoval would have walked away because he really fooled him with that. So Chooch do a real good job working him away as Pence waits, working him away, slider, and then throwing that, sneaking inside with a fastball into Frozy.
Got him. Doing a slider upstairs. 2 outs here in the 8th.
This is probably ball 4. It's a breaking ball, and it's high, but he chases it. So he got a strikeout anyway.
Betts is 0 for 3. Spins one out towards center field of base.
How does he do that?
I don't know.
He hits the strangest. We're talking to the Giants guys, Mike Krukow, Dwayne Kuiper, the TV guys. I think Kelly laughing about it. And they say, did he do that with you guys? Oh, yeah. I said, how about with you guys last year when he hit it 3 times in that playoff game? I said, only he could do that. Here you go. He takes that wild swing.
He looked to his left.
He didn't know where it was. He hits it. He knew he hit it somewhere. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It's in play somehow. Right off the end of the bat. How he does it.
Here's Fred Core. It's 1-0.
Those guys were kidding. Said, yeah, they don't hit one of those back spinners about 500 feet, too. Yeah, he does.
He is strong.
He can do that.
Charlie gave him a big hug today before batting practice.
Oh, he's a likable guy. Did a heck of a job for them last year, emotionally, too. Got him going in one of those, for some of those elimination games. Never, ever, ever teach any aspect of his game to anybody, and it all works in his package.
The physical part of the game, the passion. If you could teach that.
Passion, sure, because he plays so hard, but he wouldn't teach how he throws, how he runs, how he swings the bat, how he approaches hitting, and he's a terrific player with it all.
2-2. Just not going to get that pitch anymore.
Nope. Now that one looked like it was in a little more than the other one.
Come on, Blue! That was a strike! Ask Frank Gore!
Not really holding Pence on 3-2. They back off now.
That one's off the foot of Francoeur. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Boyd out at shortstop right now because you said he got called out on something. Those both of us looked like they should have been strikeout pitches or were closer than the ones he got called out.
Yeah, he got called a strike.
Right.
I mean, Franzen got called out on a strike.
Yeah.
Shallow right field, and John Mayberry is under it. And that'll do it for the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We played 7.5. The Phillies have made some moves on July 30th. And back in 2011, that's when they acquired Hunter Pence to help solidify their outfield as they went to the postseason. He had a lot of energy then, and he's got a lot of energy now playing for the Giants. Older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Italian Heritage Night, and Dean Martin singing just now, singing S'amore. Boy, he did a great job with that song.
Jimmy Rollins leads it off. Did you see Dean Martin in Cannonball Run? Did you watch that movie? You didn't see that with Sammy Davis Jr.? Dom DeLuise?
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
Terry Bradshaw was in it?
I saw him in a lot of Martin and Lewis movies, though. They were funny.
Cannonball Run was funny.
Yeah. Dean Martin was funny in a lot of ways. He's such a talented guy. Sing. Had that. he could play that. The Dean Martin show is one of the funniest shows ever on television. I still think it is. And they replay that. There's some replays of them once in a while. They're a riot.
Ground ball to first, and Rollins is retired. 3 unassisted, 1 out here at the bottom of the 8th. Michael Young's coming up.
His real name was Dino Crissetti from Steubenville, Ohio. What a career he had.
I will say that sometimes when you're flipping through the channels, they are selling the Dean Martin Variety Hour, whatever it was called. I don't know what it was called. And they show excerpts of it. It was funny.
Tom, he had a way of, well, first of all, everybody he brought on cracked him up. But he had such a good time because he didn't really care. He just had a good time for an hour, and the show was very entertaining.
Well, adding to your list of movies that you're going to watch in the offseason, Bad News Bears, the original.
Right.
You can add Cannonball Run in 1 and 2 if you want to.
I'm taking notes.
Michael Young takes a strike. It's 0-1. Michael Young hit a 2-run home run his last time up. on 1 strike. But if you notice, I'm giving you 2 movies that have actors that you enjoy.
All of those names you mentioned.
Walter Matthau.
He had a very tired face.
Out toward right field. It's not deep. Pence coming in. And he makes the catch in fair territory. 2 outs. Coming up on Sports Night, all your Phillies news. Plus, John Borick examines the new roles. Chip Kelly has Trent Cole and Brandon Graham playing. And Derek Gunn goes gun on 1, the key member of the Birds secondary. Get Chevy Malibu Sports Night tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sports.
Gun on 1, huh?
Gun on 1.
Especially with Derek. Gun on 1. He's a good man. We don't get to see him much anymore. Used to be around here a little bit, but got that Eagles beat now. With a good reporter.
Football all the time.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Here's Utley. Utley singled and scored in the first. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Larry Anderson would be able to tell some funny stories with that horse and that guy with the blue.
And someone we could even use on the air.
Well, it depends.
Well, maybe none. How about Mick Billmeyer? You think he may have a couple?
He might.
I guess they're used to him there all night. Was that horse there when we got here? Didn't notice him.
Line drive, base hit to center for Utley. Utley has 2 hits tonight. Well, here comes Darren Ruff.
What did you do last night? We went to see the Phillies and they beat the Giants. We sat beside a guy with a horse head.
I guess there are worse things that somebody could be wearing.
Yeah.
I always wonder what makes you think, as you're preparing to go to the game, that you would think that you should wear that. Well, both of those outfits.
I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with Italian Heritage Night, talking about the Godfather movie or something. I know I'm reaching a little bit now.
Yeah, you are, but it's funny.
Saw that movie.
I'm happy to hear that. 0-1 to Ruff. Ruff is 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. That's the only time he's been on base. Can hold up, and it's 0-2. Looks like DeFreitas will start the top of the 9th inning for the Phillies, and they hope he'll finish it.
Yep, non-save situation. And you don't want to pitch it into a save where you would get Papelbon into the game. As you said, just let DeFreitas finish it.
And a swing and a miss, and Ruff is struck out for the 3rd time tonight. Phillies are retired here in the 8th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We've completed 8 on to the 9th. The horse is up on its feet. I don't know what kind of message that says. Bridge. It also features Alumni Weekend here in Philadelphia. On Friday night, Kurt Schilling will be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame. Saturday, all the alums will be introduced prior to the game. And then Sunday, an 8:05 start because of national television. All fans coming to the ballpark that night will receive a commemorative NL pennant from the 1993 season. We go to the top of the ninth inning. Justin DeFreitas will take over for Antonio Bastardo as the Phillies try to end an 8-game losing streak. Now they try to start this 9-game homestand on a good note.
And throw a 5-game losing streak on San Francisco.
Papelbon starts the throw just in case he's needed here in the ninth inning. I don't think the leash will be too long for DeFreitas. First pitch to Pill is taken for a strike. It's 0-1.
Now you wonder if they would even wait for him to pitch it into a save situation. Well, let's not even think about that. Go get 3 outs and get out of here.
Breaking ball, 1 strike. It's a good pitch from DeFreitas. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, this is where he has to get to the point in his career where he doesn't have to throw a perfect slider. He has a guy pulling off right now, right-handed hitter. You throw a good one, he'll chase it.
Now there you go. He chased it. They're going to say the ball hit the ground. No argument from Ruiz. He tried to sell it.
Yeah, he did foul it, and it looked like it may have hit the ground.
Charlie Manuel is going to argue it. Mick Billmeyer's asking for an appeal.
And he's going to say he has it all the way. But he's a little upset with some of the balls and strikes tonight, so he's going to go out now. I got it, Charlie. There you go.
It was dirt that kicked up.
Yeah, that's a close one. That's really close. And that's why they say, why don't you just check? And he's saying, I got it. Really is tough to tell the way he smothers it here. Fouls it. Oh, man, that is really hard to tell.
The only thing is Ruiz did not argue.
He didn't argue.
Calls, so.
And the umpire called it right away.
Well, that'll be a base hit for Pill to start the ninth inning.
Yeah, he threw in a really good breaking ball before that. Then he got hurt with a fastball there in the middle of the plate.
Now Quiroz will be up for the 4th time. He's 1 for 3, doubled his last time and scored. Quiroz didn't think that was a strike. Out of play, and it's 0-2. Foul ball past Roberto Kelly. He's been sitting there all day asking for a foul ball, and it's the first one that's hit down the right field line. It's got to tighten up that mohawk, though.
Thanks, Dad, for sticking around.
Outside, 1-2. Out toward left field. Ruff is there. And he'll make the catch for the first out. That one is out toward the end of the bat for Quiros. Immediately after the game, stay tuned for Ricky Bottalico's analysis on John Lannon's performance against the Giants. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Postgame Live. Marshall Harris will be along to co-host with Ricky. Props to Marshall, by the way. You know, they do that standout star before each ball game. I think that's what it's called. And I apologize for not, if I didn't use the right terminology. But John Mayberry was Marshall Harris's standout star, and he has 2 hits, a walk, and 2 RBIs tonight.
Good call.
Now Marshall's probably back in the studio saying, you got to have a feel.
Got to have a feel.
Gregor Blanco takes outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Now I have to admit, I don't remember who Ricky Bottalico's standout star was.
It was John Lannon.
Yeah, it might have been John.
Since he's going to analyze his performance.
I think it was a hitter, though. Oh, I'm being told it was Darren Ruff. So Marshall, congratulations. At least for now.
Yeah.
You have the edge over Ricky Bottalico, and I would hope that you would mention that to him.
One had a real good night and one didn't.
Although he did reach base safely for the 27th consecutive game.
Right.
Darren Ruff did. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gregor Blanco. Outside, 2-1. I have to admit, Murph and I were watching, and I think Murph and I were both giving our own suggestions on who the star of the game would be. Wasn't that right, Murph? We were both looking at it and seeing John Mayberry as Marshall Harris's selection. Say, John Mayberry? What about Chase Utley?
I went with, no, I was saying Chooch. I thought he was going to hit a home run tonight. So.
Sell it, buddy. Sell it. 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
Hey, Murph, always remember it's in the delivery, and you did a great job with that.
Thank you very much.
I did think Chase Utley. Even though Barry Zito was on the
Well, a right-handed hitter was a good pick tonight against a left-handed pitcher, yeah.
Well, Justin DeFreitas is 1 out away from ending this 8-game losing streak. Joaquin Arias is 0 for 2. He has an RBI. Michael Young is even with the bag at third. Franzen holds the runner on at first. The pitch to Arias. Ground ball toward third. Michael Young's got it. Flips over to second. And the 8-game losing streak is finally over as the Phillies defeat the Giants 7-3 and get this 9-game homestand off on the right notes. Well, this was a good game all the way around for Charlie Manuel's team. They hit some home runs, 2. Carlos Ruiz hit his first. And